Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Delta Force. I haven't spoken about Delta Force in quite a long time, for a very good reason. I haven't played it in almost 2 weeks, and I would be willing to bet a lot of other people are on the same page. So in today's video, we're going to talk about exactly what happened with Delta Force, because the game started out pretty hot. In fact, it had a lot of promise in a lot of people's eyes. It was always critiqued, people calling it, a copy of 2042, Chinese spyware, right? That was a common thing people said about it as well. But if you were above the mental age of 10 and you actually played the game, you would see that it did have some serious potential if the developers actually delivered upon the content and provided regular updates. So let's talk about it. If you enjoy the content, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I've recently been putting out a ton of videos regarding the next Battlefield game. And if you aren't already, follow me on Twitch and TikTok. Both links are in the description. I stream every single day on Twitch and this YouTube channel. And I've recently started uploading YouTube Shorts and TikToks, something I've been neglecting for a very, very long time. Now then, what the hell happened to Delta Force? Why did I basically stop playing it? Well, I stopped playing it because I got so bored and so frustrated with the lack of anything going on that I actually would rather play Battlefield 2042. And I was not alone in this. When I switched to streaming Battlefield again for the first time in about 2.5 or 3 months, people were like, oh, finally you stopped playing Delta Force. So it's very clear to me that everyone else also got bored of Delta Force. And this is a complete 180 from how the game has actually started. The game started out tournaments, I was playing against Nadeshot and all these COD pros in these tournaments. It was super, super fun. I was playing with my friends almost every single day. The developers' communication was second to none. I mean, even coming into my YouTube videos to individually reply to people's questions in the comment section, something I can confidently say I have never seen another game do. And overall, things were just looking real good for the potential of Delta Force when it initially came out. But as with everything, the more you play it, the more you actually see it for what it is. And the more I played Delta Force, the more I realized, number one, the matchmaking sucks compared to Battlefield. For those that don't know, I played the Warfare mode in Delta Force, which is the Battlefield equivalent. And it was very, very clear to me and many other players that the matchmaking seemed off compared to Battlefield. And that's because there was very blatant and obvious skill-based matchmaking, or EOMM, perhaps even both in Delta Force Warfare. This obviously led to massive frustration, which led to the game being, well, less fun than even the worst Battlefield game of all time, which is Battlefield 2042. There's a very obvious reason for that. Battlefield modes play like shit with any sort of SBMM and EOMM. Now, you combined the matchmaking frustrations with the fact that a lot of the great things they were doing kind of just dropped off the face of the planet. Yeah, they were updating the game here and there, but they were never producing any sort of meaningful mid-season updates. They kind of just released Season 2 and then went MIA for the better part of 3 months now. And I'm well aware that they probably have something right around the corner because the last season came out so long ago, but that doesn't change the fact that the content these seasons provide is simply not enough to tide the majority of players over for that very long period of time. If you look at the Warfare content, the content that I experienced, the base game maps of Delta Force Warfare aren't great. In fact, I would say they're actually pretty rough. Then the new maps they added were also pretty rough, and then you look at the content release schedule and you realize you're not going to be getting, like 3-4 maps per season. No, you're going to be getting 1, maybe 2 maps per season. And judging off of the base game maps and the new maps they added in Season 2, you can probably fully expect these maps to be pretty mediocre as well. Now, on the operations side of things, I've heard a lot of people complain about a lot of game balance problems. I've also heard a lot of people complain about cheating, the fact that it's apparently rampant. And I will definitely give credit where credit is due. The Delta Force developers have really emphasized this on Twitter. They tweet out a bunch of, I think, either weekly or maybe monthly cheater reports where they show everyone how many cheaters they banned and, what type of bans they administered. But it's seemingly not enough according to the opinion of the player base. So all in all, Delta Force, at least as of right now, is kind of just floating around. It's not really doing much. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if we heard something soon because the last season came out so long ago. But I think they've completely missed their opportunity to capitalize on this great timing that Delta Force actually nailed. Battlefield was doing nothing And Delta Force was that sort of free-to-play competitor that wanted to swoop in and take over the Battlefield player base that was in limbo. And they kind of did it at the beginning, but they managed to lose all of that hype along the way. And there's absolutely an argument to be made that there was never going to be some sort of replacement to Battlefield. I actually agree with that. Nothing can truly replace a well-done original. And I think Delta Force stands no chance against the new Battlefield game, no matter how bad the new Battlefield game is, because Battlefield is Battlefield. It's as simple as that. People have insane franchise loyalty to Battlefield and will not play anything else. Look at the older Battlefield games. People still play Battlefield 4 daily on console, like last-gen console as well. That's insane. BF4 is over a decade old. That's how dedicated the Battlefield player base is. And I realize there's going to be a little bit of pushback in the comment section, I imagine, from some people claiming that, oh, Enders, well, you pushed this game so hard at the beginning. Yeah, I did, because I thought if they kept up what they were doing, this game had a real chance of being something great. And I don't think you can say I'm wrong about that. You can make arguments about, you know, obviously Battlefield being the original. Nothing's going to take over the original. You can even make an argument that Delta Force was horrible from the beginning. I would disagree. I think if they really remedied some of the major problems in the game, and namely the matchmaking, and they continued what they were doing with sufficient content, I think the game would be great. They're just not doing any of that stuff. The content isn't sufficient, and they're never going to change the real problems with the game. So it's just unfortunate. It's an unfortunate situation. I wish I didn't have to make this video. I wish this wasn't my opinion, but it is. This is the world we live in. This is the reality of the situation. And the best we can all hope for if we want to see Delta Force succeed is really just pay attention to what they're going to do the next season, and hopefully it surprises us. Maybe Delta Force makes some mid-season content adjustments. Maybe they realize the amount of content they're putting out each season isn't enough, and they surprise us with more content this time around, but I wouldn't hold my breath. And I probably should have said this at the beginning of the video, but just to make things clear, I'm not saying the game is dead. All right, the game still has a pretty healthy player base. It's up for debate whether or not we can fully trust the player count numbers, but the game still has a decent-ish player base. I'm just saying the game kind of fell off pretty hard in the eyes of a lot of people, and I don't think that's even up for debate. But let me know your thoughts about this game and what the current situation is for it. If you enjoy the content, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Be sure to follow the stream. I stream every single day on this YouTube channel and the Twitch channel. All the links are in the description. Follow me on TikTok, join the Discord and Instagram, all that sort of stuff. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.
Four.